In a quiet valley in southern Nigeria, there was a village where people feared one thing more than death. Because in that village, the moment a lie left your lips, your voice would disappear forever. They called it the dry throat. It didn't matter how small the lie was. A joke, an exaggeration, even a harmless excuse. The punishment was always the same. Silence. Permanent, irreversible silence. So the people of Kumbuka learned to speak carefully. Short sentences, clear words, only what was true and nothing more. Even laughter was rare, because laughter could turn into exaggeration, and exaggeration could become a lie, and a lie could take everything. So the village lived in truth, but also in fear. A strange, heavy silence filled every corner of Kumbuka, except for one place and one man, the great elder Mwenye. Every evening he gathered the villagers, and unlike everyone else, he spoke, not in short sentences, but in long, powerful speeches. He spoke of prosperity, of protection, of visions from the ancestors. His voice was strong, confident, unbreakable, and no one dared question him, until the day a stranger arrived. His name was Kojo, a traveling weaver from the coast. Bright, loud, unafraid, too alive for a place like Kumbuka. And from the moment he stepped into the village, Kojo knew something was wrong. At first, Kojo thought the silence was discipline, a cultural way of life. But the longer he stayed, the more it felt unnatural. People didn't just avoid lies, they avoided expression. No one joked, no one exaggerated, no one even comforted each other properly, because comfort sometimes required bending the truth, and bending the truth was dangerous. Kojo realized something troubling. Truth had become fear, and fear had become control. Then he began listening to the elder at the village square, really listening, and that's when he noticed it. The stories didn't match. One day, the harvest was abundant. The next day, it was struggling. One day, the ancestors warned of danger. The next day, they promised peace. The stories didn't match up. Someone was controlling the villagers with lies. The villagers were not fully aware of the current circumstances. While the villagers had lost their voice, Mwenye's voice remained strong, unaffected, unbroken. Kojo felt a chill because in Kumbuka, that should not be possible. That's when he met her, Zola, a quiet herbalist with observant eyes. She didn't speak much, but she noticed everything. Kojo approached her carefully. "I have a question," he said. Zola looked at him. Then she replied with something totally unexpected. "You noticed it too?" Kojo froze. He didn't expect her to come out plain. "You saw the lies?" she added. Kojo nodded slowly. "Mwenye should have lost his voice too," Kojo said. "Come, let's talk inside," she said as they head inside the hut. Zola looked away. "My father lost his voice," she said, "for something small." "But the Mwenye, the elder," Kojo said, "he speaks every day." "And nothing happens," Zola finished. Silence filled the hut. Then Zola whispered something dangerous. "I have always known something is wrong," she said. Kojo felt it too. This was not a blessing. It was something else, something hidden, something buried. That night, Kojo could not sleep. The silence of Kumbuka felt heavier than ever. Every unanswered question echoed in his mind. The lies, the elder, the baobab tree, and Zola's words. By midnight, he had made his decision. He stepped outside quietly and headed toward the sacred grove. He was not alone. Zola had been waiting. "I knew you would come," she said softly. Kojo nodded. Together, they walked into the forbidden grove. The deeper they went, the colder it felt. The air itself felt alive, watching them. Then they saw it. The baobab, older than the village itself, and something about it felt wrong. Zola grabbed Kojo's arm. "Look," she whispered, "at the base of the tree. There were rows of gourds right under the tree, dozens of them, each one sealed, each one vibrating subtly." And then they heard it. Whispers, voices, hundreds of voices, trapped, struggling to be heard. "These are them," she whispered in horror. Then, suddenly, a voice broke the silence. "Curiosity," he said calmly. Kojo froze. Zola's heart pounded. But the elder did not look angry. He looked tired, as if carrying something heavy. Then he raised a gourd and began to speak. Words poured into it, and as he spoke, the roots beneath the tree began to move. Something beneath the tree responded. Something alive, something feeding. Zola whispered, "This is not a curse." Kojo stared at the tree, his heart racing. Mwenye slowly turned to them. "For once," he said quietly, "you are both correct." Kojo, gathering courage, stepped forward. "Then what is this?" he demanded. "Long before you were born," he began, "this village almost destroyed itself. Lies spread like fire. Families turned against each other. Friends became enemies. And something evil was born from that chaos. A spirit, the spirit of discord. It fed on deception and grew stronger with every lie, until it almost consumed the village as villagers kept harming each other in disagreement. So the ancestors made a choice. They created the rule. The moment you lie, you lose your voice. And so the spirit weakened, growing less powerful with less lies. Peace returned. But the spirit was never chased away completely, only trapped beneath the baobab. Kojo's eyes widened. "And you?" he asked. "How come it never affected you too?" The elder said calmly, "I became the container. I took the lies and fed them to it, slowly, to appease it, so it would never break free, not knowing I was helping it grow." Zola stepped forward. "But my father lost his voice," she cried. Mwenye looked at her with pain. "Yes," he said, "because I could not carry everything. Not at the beginning. I had to let some voices go, to learn how to contain it. And over time, I became too good at it, and it possessed me. Kojo understood. Power had changed him. What began as protection had become control. And now, Zola whispered, it's growing again, stronger again, ready to unleash hell on the village. The elder said nothing, because he knew it was true. The gourds were full, too full, and when they broke, the spirit would consume its content and grow even stronger. Everything would end. Zola turned to Kojo. There is only one way to end this, she said. The next morning, Zola gathered the entire village. People looked confused and afraid, because what she asked was impossible for them to do. Today, she said, we will all lie. Silence fell. Fear set in, then panic. No, someone shouted. We will lose our voices. Zola shook her head. No, not if we all do it at once. Kojo stepped forward as he joins to address the crowd. If the spirit feeds on lies, then we give it too much to handle. Zola took a deep breath. The sky is green, she shouted. One voice joined, then another, then all of them. The ground began to shake. The baobab roared loudly across the village. The gourds began to burst as voices exploded into the sky. And the spirit of discord was forced out. Then, silence. But this time, it was peaceful. One by one, voices returned. Laughter filled the air. Real, imperfect, human. Zola smiled and hugged Kojo in satisfaction, saying, we did it. And Elder, he stood alone, because after years of controlling truth, he no longer knew how to speak it.
Hello guys, I hope you enjoyed the story. Please do well to like, subscribe and share. See you in the next one.